Ahoy and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. The Empire of Japan is embroiled in a war with the Italian Navy. The only thing is, they are encircled. We have key strategic ports all around the Mediterranean. We basically have it on lockdown. This is their largest fleet. And somehow they've come into contact with my reserve fleet. So we have the Italian Empire's best versus the Japanese Empire's remnants. We've got the battleship Tyrael, which is a very old ship. She was on her way to Vladivostok to be mothballed, as was the cruiser that is accompanying her. We had a destroyer flotilla looking after them, with a couple of mainline battleships accompanying them. And out of all the large warships I have in the Mediterranean, the Italians found this fleet. I'm not a great fan of the mission system in this game, but it does, I guess, throw us against the wall sometimes. Let's see how this reserve fleet goes against the Italian Empire's best. We're marshalling up a destroyer force. All of the enemy capital ships are classed as battle cruisers, and they have a higher tonnage than our standard Yamato class battleships, of which we have 3, plus the Tyrael. I mean, her guns still work. We destroyed the Italian fleet on the surface, and this is all their ships that they have either rebuilt or had in being. So we're not sure what technological level they are at. But I do know that we've sunk somebody in the back line. An unidentified ship has been hit by something and exploded and sunk. Lead warship is on fire. We do know the Italian torpedoes are quite formidable. They are fast and long range. So we're keeping our battleships away, put them in the formation to avoid torpedoes, so the AI will take control in that circumstance. The destroyers that we are dealing with today, or that we have available to us, are a mixture of my destroyer classes. And we're forming up the attack. Destroyer Arari, an older model destroyer, but she still packs a punch. We've got Italian fish on their way. Going to move the Kusunoki out of their trajectory. Making sure that our battleship's taken care of. Now I've separated battleship Tyrael from the Yamato line, and she has her cruiser escort. Both of them venerable ships. They're the last of their class. I scrapped the others. And those two were just on their way to Vladivostok, where I was going to marshal up a bit of a mothball fleet. One of each of our best class ships. Or anyone that really made a name for themselves so far. The Emperor does not forget. Kusunoki managing to weave through those enemy torpedoes, which are now well on their way towards our battleship line. Rari is going to turn away. Come into close contact with an enemy destroyer. I've got her locked down with gunfire. She is hidden in smoke. Kusunoki is going to retreat. And we want them to lay as many fishes as they can towards our destroyers, just to pop them off, get them out of the field, so they do not become a threat. We've had contacts with our torpedoes in the back line. Not sure which ship we hit. Destroyer Kashi has taken some damage. Large hit there. Tyrael is kind of in a little bit of trouble here. She needs to keep turning hard to port. We'll reverse the line. Now the Italians don't want to mess with our torpedo boats, so they are all turning away. That's giving us some breathing room. That battle cruiser has lost an engine room. She's going to be nice food for the Akigumo. Destroyer Kuri coming up astern. We have fish inbound from the Italian cruiser. Thought to be a cruiser. Probably a destroyer. Make sure that Kuri does not run into those. We've sent our reply torpedoes on the crippled battle cruiser. Not sure if we will make contact with those. Fuyutsuki is making her attack run. She needs to weave behind the Kuri before she can lay her fish. We're doing a good job of scattering the enemy formation. We've had 6 torpedo hits so far, not much in the way of damage. But sometimes a disarray is the most effective way to fight. Fuyuzuki has been hit. She's lost rudder, she's on fire and taking on water. We tend to lose 1 or 2 destroyers in large engagements, but that's really their job. She's coming up astern on this crippled destroyer. They're going to go down together. She's laying the last of her torpedoes off the port side. The whole enemy fleet seems to have dialed her in. We have enemy fish coming in. That may hit us. We have lost a lot of our propulsion. Can we get on the other side of the enemy destroyer? Not quite. Full power, please. Whatever you've got left. I think that was friendly fire from the Italians. We'll need to see that in replay. The fleet line has changed their direction. We've got the destroyers coming back to regroup, reload, if they have any. We have a destroyer coming in and a fish as well. So we need to take evasive action on that. It's a pretty angry destroyer. Can we reply? We have the Kusunoki. Do they have anything ready to fight with? Arare has fish. We should be able to dial a single destroyer down. As long as we stay away from that. A single torpedo, it looks like. Brave but futile charge by the Italian destroyer. We've got a battle cruiser pushing the line. Trying to screen out that other destroyer coming in. Single battle cruisers bringing the fight to us. But it seems to be focusing on our screen ships. Fish, how are you tracking? Will you cross our bow? Tyrael is leading the charge at the moment. Reversing the line sort of put her at the front. I'm going to turn her away again. Would hate to lose her. We don't want to give the Italians any morale. We'll be soon on their shores. I'm undecided where to raid first. Do we just go straight for Rome? I mean, burning Rome to the ground would be a good start. Out with the old, in with the new. Don't need any Vaticans and stuff. Worshipping other things besides our emperor. This battle cruiser's in big trouble. Arare, can you get your torpedoes off, please? Thank you. You've done that. She still has more on board, but she's dealing with some damage. Looks like the battleship's dropped a fish too. Or battle cruiser, rather. Seems these guys built it like a battleship. It's 30,000 tons. 28 knots. Our destroyers are a little bit worse for wear. They've taken some damage, but they're still afloat. Okay, that torpedo just lost track. It went rogue. Or is it homing us? Do you get homing torpedoes in this game? Arare, please, do not get hit by that. Yamato line is safe. Tyrael is just being gradually forced towards the enemy by having to take all these evasive maneuvers. So it went from trying to defend her to putting her in the front line, while the big boys sit at the back. Tactical brilliance. Battlecruiser Diana going to the bottom. Superstructure just completely destroyed by our large caliber high explosives. Kashi, you're in a little bit of strife. Pull back. Italian fleet is just... Diana was very brave, pushing ahead. But the rest of her fleet are sort of floundering in the back line. Our line's gradually being separated from her escort. I do have torpedoes available, but the destroyers are a little bit worse for wear. Tahoe's pushing 15 knots. She's a slow old girl. We have a threat in a cruiser here. We'll get her to target that one. Try and get these guys back. Speed up time a bit. You do need to invest a fair amount of your day to play a game of Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, whether it be ship design or waiting for the excessive turn times as you get further into the campaign. I had hoped killing off the countries would make the turn times speed up a bit faster, with less to manage, but the Americans are building so many fleets. As too are the French. But rather than see their impending doom, they're all sort of happy with me. Despite me not trying to be a good guy, or friends with any other nation. I've even stopped selling my ships to the miners in case I ever have to fight them again. Bit of a staggered line here abreast. We're really... Oh, here comes the fog. Our gunnery just went right down the toilet. And really, the Italians are just getting beaten into submission. They've hardly done anything to me. And to think I was going to run away? The mist has destroyed our battleship gunnery, but it's allowed our destroyers to sneak in very close. And so this has made our ships with reloads invaluable for those longer engagements. This has taken better part of 30 minutes. Hits here, 2 hits, and the following fish will trail through and hit those other heavies. Light cruiser may be able to thread through those. We'll see. Nope. Minor damage because of the bow hit. Who's left? Akigumo. Completely out of torpedoes now. And we have 4 left on the Curie. The torpedoes weren't super effective this battle. I mean, we have 20 hits, but the gunnery was far more effective. This guy is running away. Pisani, see you later. Palero running away as well. Engine rooms completely smashed. The Maikaze's firing off. She still has torpedoes to spare. Massive damage. Humongous damage to that light cruiser. Peloro has a major flash fire, obliterating the ship as her turrets just blow off sequentially. We have 1 cruiser left there. He's running for the hills. But we have no survivors, apparently. See you later, Fulminati. That'll do. January 1926. Belarus, the ungoverned territory, formerly of Russia, fall into our hands. And France is attacking German interests. Norway has cancelled their alliance with the British Empire, and France has failed to control southern Turkey. They do own a lot, the French. They'll be our next target. But for now, they're pretty happy with us, murdering all within the Mediterranean. Battleship Amagi, who is supposed to be in the dry dock being repaired after an auto-resolve battle, has been drawn out to fight the Italians. So 2 battleships which are damaged. And our destroyer flotilla versus the Italian battleship and his destroyer. Yeah, so the auto-resolve system damaged my Amagi against, I think it was 3 light cruisers. She took substantial damage somehow. But that's auto-resolve for you. So we're going to screen the Amagi with a DD. Arari, we saw her in the last battle. The game seems to just arbitrarily choose your fleet for you. We have a contact. First shells are out. Amagi will need to turn her turrets. I think she's slightly out of range, with the Yamato having slightly better guns. We have her on avoid torpedoes, and our destroyers are making their way towards the enemy fleet. We can see the destroyer line because they've conveniently popped their smoke. Those shots weren't too bad. We should be able to dial her in fairly quickly. Destroyer crossing the bow of Akagi. Get written up for that. Akagi is turning to face her. Present some angle and we'll just push towards the enemy. Assuming this destroyer attack goes off well, we might not even have to fight with our battleships. Destroyer Kaji and Maikaze. Going for a pincer destroyer attack here. First fisher away, starboard side on the Kashi. And we should have fish out on the port side on the Maikaze. Be very hard to dodge that one, speeding up the time there. Just going to turn in towards the first spread, and that's going to present maximum broadside for the second. Turning away. 2 duds. No good. 4 hits in total. That should give us a fair amount of flooding damage. Sighted in the destroyers. Their smoke's run out. First shells are out. Can we just splat one? That would be nice. Oh, and we can just splat one. Woohoo! Battleship Amagi under full steam. Just puts out an insane amount of funnel smoke. Completely blinding the Akagi behind her. That destroyer that got hit by the high explosive shell is sinking well and truly. But they are within effective range of their torpedoes now, so we have to be very careful. Sending out a destroyer screen to at least be able to detect those torpedoes early. Destroyer Kashi and Maikaze are heading towards the cruiser line. They're not in a great position for a torpedo attack, but we've managed to get the Italians to launch a spread. Strong rudder there on the Kashi, able to dodge both of those spreads. They've got a pretty heavy torpedo armament on each side. They will track well towards our battleship line. We need to keep an eye on those. Maikaze's turn to dodge a single torpedo. Oh, and she was not able to do so. Too late there in the order to turn. It did hit right on the tip of the bow. And looks like one of our destroyers was on free fire mode with his torpedoes. Bit impetuous there. The Shiokaze. I've had to turn away our other destroyer to make sure she isn't hit with friendly torpedoes. Maikaze's flooding. We need to slow her down a little if we want her to survive, I think. I've withdrawn my destroyers. The enemy destroyers ran, and we couldn't find their battleship. So I think this is pretty much a stalemate. We kept the Amagi safe. One of our standard battle fleets has encountered a cruiser force. This will be an easy one. We vastly outnumber the enemy in this engagement. We've got 2 of our battle cruisers, lots of destroyers, and a strong line of Yamato-class battleships. So we might send out the destroyers as usual, and see what our battle cruisers can do. We've got first contact. We were spotted first, so they have the benefits of first shot. Slow down the line a little bit, turn them away. Try and spoil their gunnery. That looks like they're pushing towards us. We have our destroyers on the flank. They're going to make a beeline towards them. Battle line is opening up with the main calibers. It's a lot of shells you're going to have to face. You are an only cruiser force. We need to be mindful of torpedo attack. Going wide with our flanking force. Coming pretty sharply a broadside to them. And they are turning to face our destroyers now. Cacophony of main caliber shells drowning out my voice. Big hits there through the bow. We have armor piercing and high explosive mixed shells. These cruisers won't last long. It'll just be who gets them first, the destroyer squadron or the battleships. Destroyers have good gunnery on them at the moment. We have torpedoes on their way out. They will be a problem for our battlecruiser line. Asashio has launched her spread. Destroyers are now splitting up. And we'll get the Hibiki out the bay. Hayashimo's done her job. Turn away. Looks like a destroyer tried to block the torpedo spread, but it was a futile attempt. And thus both ships have fallen. Hayashimo's in a little bit of trouble here. Trying to bring the tail around before those torpedoes get to it. All of our DDs are safe. We have a warship out here on the wide flank. One of the enemy heavy cruisers has sunk. Massive damage from that spread of torpedoes that hit her. Brave destroyer trying to block them, but like I said, futile attempt. Now battle cruisers are descending like vultures on the remaining Italian ships, coming to feast on what remains after that brazen torpedo attack. We have two different types of battle cruiser. The Otago and the Mataka. Different in their capabilities. If you've seen my earlier videos, you would have seen the design of these ships. The Otago is a brawler designed to tank small caliber shells and really bring the fight to screening ships. And the Mataka is a much heavier hitter designed to fight battleships. Hayashimo sneaking in just off the bow of these enemy destroyers. They have been well and truly separated from their light cruiser out on the wing there, up to the north. Can't tell if they're fleeing or not. Otago is going to have to deal with these torpedoes coming from the friendly ship, as will Mataka. What have you done there? Friendly DD launching fish at a destroyer nowhere near close to her, and Mataka is about to pay for it. Oh, fortunately one, I believe, was a dud. One hit. She does have a torpedo bulge. She's a fairly sturdy ship. Hopefully we can keep that flooding under control. You've really got to watch your destroyers when they have long-range torpedoes. They will just throw them in the water. So we've really taken more damage than we should have now as a result of that torpedo. This light cruiser is very badly damaged. She's sending fast fish out in a desperate attempt to try and survive. One of those actually looks like it might be good. Running right through the center of our destroyer formation. I'm not going to throw my destroyers into the maw of the light cruiser's guns. We're just trying to buy some time for her to sink, which she has done so. And the destroyer took a massive hit right at the end. That'll keep her alive though. Each of these battles is just stacking up victory points for us. And one of our premier fleets features the Shogun and the Otoki-san, which is a Hattori class battleship. This one is the Shogun. Pretty standard design, besides the wing turrets being quite large caliber. And then here is our monstrosity of gunpowder. Although this is not a refitted version, I have a refit ready to be built. We just need to finish off the fights with the Italians. Then we have a Yamato class, standard class battleship. The Italians are fielding quite a large force today, but it will not be enough, I don't think. As well as the usual destroyer force, we also have the battlecruiser Yari here. 13-inch gun cruiser, or battlecruiser, and we only managed to build one of her before the design became obsolete. And I haven't really seen what she's capable of. 13-inch guns, fairly modern guns, very capable in the speed department at 35 knots. Our destroyer force coming in an echelon formation, and we have a wide scout. They're trying to draw fire and unmask those ships in the back line. We know that they are all either cruisers or destroyers, using the smoke generators. And the lead ship of our attack force has launched its spread. Our scout destroyer has launched a cross spread, so we're definitely going to hit something here. They're in a pretty close formation. It's like a 3-line formation. Kiyaki needs to take some evasive action. Oh, that torpedo started to bend on its track. And really, the water is alive with the sound of torpedoes. The Italian fleet is desperately trying to turn out of the way. That lead battleship's fate is sealed, I think. Oh, as well as everyone behind. An unidentified warship just took 40,000 damage. 5 torpedoes. Masses of explosions within the Italian smoke. Our scouts can't really tell what's going on. We just know that there's carnage. But the battlecruiser there screening the battleship line. If anything makes it through, she will just charge them. Well, this light cruiser just took a massive hit from a high explosive shell. Our destroyer force is running back to the safety of our main fleet. And we are just outside the range of Italian torpedoes at this moment. The Hattori class. Very fond of this class of ship. The design philosophy was, how many turrets? Yes. And she can mostly use all of them if we maneuver her. Okay, all of our destroyers have 12 torpedoes remaining. It will take about 5 minutes to reload them. Italian torpedoes have exploded, reaching the limits of their range. Seems to be the battlecruiser is tanking some of the fire from the Italian ships. This Italian battleship, 13.2-inch guns. And we're just using high explosive on her. She's using armor piercing on us. I can't let her get too close. Our battleships don't have insanely thick belts. And our flagships are quite long. But it doesn't matter, because she's sinking to excessive high explosive fire. And that's what we want. It doesn't matter if your hull's still intact, if everyone inside is crispy. I'm just waiting to see what the Italians do. We're just keeping them at arm's length. And any ships that show themselves will just get smashed into oblivion by Otoki-san. Beautiful ships. I like big ships, I can't lie. Dante Alighieri is in trouble as well. Lost all of her engines. Kiyaki took a stray hit. We're going to keep her here to try and get that flooding under control. The rudder's damaged. She took 2 hits by the look of it. It's unfortunate, but it's bound to happen. If we keep her there, she may stay afloat. The enemy destroyer is staying nice and close to the remaining capital ships. But as I've seen through the campaign, is the moment the capital ships are ineffective, the destroyers will charge us. This light cruiser's taken damage. She's flooding. And she's been focused down by armor piercing. Oh, massive magazine hit. The armor piercing shell cutting through the ship like butter and finding that juicy magazine. Once again, the Empire of the Rising Sun is demonstrating that there is no contest on the open sea. They will just smash you. We are pushing closer than we realistically should, but I want to get within secondary gun range and just open fire. And we're almost there. I just have to be mindful of a destroyer charge. But they seem to be... Oh, here we go. Turn our line away ever so slightly. They are entering 8-inch gun range now, and our ships have a lot of those. So let's see if they can withstand the hail of fire that's about to approach. I'm going to push our destroyers forward, just as an insurance policy. We do have to keep in mind that Italian torpedoes are fast. So we need to rely on our quick gunnery skills here, sirs. Yeah, no, well that's not working, is it? They're getting pretty close. Oh shit. Shogun will not fall. Though she may end up with a scratch. We have a torpedo in the water. But just a solitary torpedo by the look of it. Full stop, full stop. Now our momentum's going to carry us within range of that torpedo's bite. We do have double torpedo bulges. Wait, 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 wait. Oh, damn it. It almost went in front, and now it's hit where the torpedo bulge does not exist. And here is the follow-up spread. Shogun is in a bit of trouble. Attacking Nami, desperately trying to get in the way. We'll try and block any more torpedoes that we can. We've had a dud. Fortunate dud, but there is another one still there. Takanami's going for the ram. Trying to throw this destroyer off course. She was hit. Shogun's taken torpedo to the torpedo belt, I believe. And so there was no damage from that second one. But we are taking on water in the front section of the ship, but we're about to take a second hit there, just below the turret. 1,000 damage. But what's life without a little risk, hey? Can't just sit back and shoot them all day. Got to get right into the midst of it. If I don't put myself in danger, I don't think the game is going to put me in any danger. Secondary explosions on those destroyers in the background, lighting up the smoke. Just being focused down by constant secondary barrages from the Shogun. Whoa, would not like to be on that ship right now. I couldn't even tell you how many hits that took. Damage control teams on the Shogun have managed to repair and remove most of the flooding. We took 5 hits in total, but the ship is still in good condition. Our destroyers snuck through the back line. Kiyaki It's managed to get some of that water out. So we are recovering that damage. And while we can end the battle, I don't think I will just yet. I just want to shoot them down. How dare they scratch the Shogun? Battlecruiser Yari looks tiny compared to the other ships she accompanies. But boy, does she have a lot of guns. Yari is going toe-to-toe with an Italian cruiser at very close range. See, she's got 13-inch main battery, 8-inch secondaries all over, encasemates and turrets. And she has deleted Vesuvio. And the victory points are just stacking. Stacking. The following day, massive storm has rolled into the Mediterranean. The Shogun was on its way back to port when it stumbled upon what appears to be an Italian cruiser squadron. So we're going to do our best to stay away from them. We don't know what's going to come out of the mist. We're going to smash the heavies and then withdraw. I do not like fighting during storms. It's terrible for footage. Follow-up battle on the same turn. Same fleet. We've run into an Italian battleship. And she has us sighted in. Just going to turn my line about. Get my strongest guns ready. Oh, the cargo's taken a hit. And the cargo's taken a flash fire. Blown the fore turret off. Oh dear. That's a lot of damage. We're going to have to pull her out of the line. She is in a sorry state. This Italian battleship's emerged from the mist. Caused catastrophic damage to the cargo. So we're going to detach her from the formation, turn her away. And I'll bring a cruiser up or a destroyer and we'll drop a smoke screen. We'll turn her guns off so they can concentrate on damage control. Get those fires under control. That's the most damage we've taken in a long time. And they're still firing at the cargo, so we need to draw the aggro away. The Kiyaki was a damaged ship from the last battle. Up comes destroyer Kishinami. She's going to pull up alongside the cargo, drop her smoke screen. I have the light cruiser Mogami as well, which will provide some support there. We've managed to get the fires under control, but the cargo is now combat ineffective. It's taking on water still, damaged engine room. But we've managed to draw the aggro away from the cargo. Up comes the Mogami. Drop that smoke and try and obscure the cargo away from everybody else. Pesky Italian battleship got lucky. We still haven't been able to identify her capabilities. And our Hattori class has taken a hit to the bow. We are getting hits on the enemy warship. But she seems to have pretty good gunnery through the storm. Our target signature is huge. The battleship has taken damage. But we're not quite able to identify her. And now a destroyer is about to run into the Hattori class. Battleship Shogun opening up with her 14-inch guns. And I think we will just high explosive this one to death as well. Her guns have been pretty effective against us. Accuracy-wise. That penetrating shot only did about 80 damage to the cargo, and then her turret blew off. Have to reassess our powder protocols. Kiyaki is pushing up towards the enemy battleship, but she has sunk. Again, high explosives ruling the day. As you can see, we have a pretty good position here in the Mediterranean. It's just a matter of invading Western Sicily, and then I may push right into the heart of Rome. We have U-boats sitting at the mouth of the Adriatic, and we're putting them to unrestricted warfare. We're going to shoot everything that comes out, including the Hungarian Empire's ships. Start a war with them too if we can. Wouldn't you know it, we sunk a Hungarian ship by mistake. Oopsie. It looks like our Shogun task force is going to be the star of this episode. They are featuring in another battle. Finally, that storm has passed and we have some clear weather in which to fight our foes. The Hattori class has opened fire. We can see them, they can see us. Here come their reply shots. Make a slight course adjustment. Managing to get all of those guns to fire, even on the port side. Trying to get some semblance of order to our destroyer force. They always get in the way. Battle cruiser Yari opening fire with all of her guns, 13s, 8s, bristling with firepower. And this cruiser looks like it's paying the price. She's not long for this world, that's for sure. Woohoo! Mochizuki coming in for her torpedo spread. It looks like we have a destroyer just off to her bow, behind the sinking battleship. Let's head up there and see if we can't gun that ship down. The Mochi has 5.5-inch guns. So she's a pretty good gun destroyer. There's our target there. Got those fish in the water. A few of them exploding as they hit. We have a solitary torpedo coming in, taking evasive action. Some of our DDs are on free fire with their torps. Mochizuki coming in hot with her 5.5-inch guns, lighting up this destroyer. She's taken damage already. Major sinking happening. Haha. Get wrecked. Those 8-inch secondaries just sealing her fate. Kishinami running up hot behind her sister. Well, this one doesn't want a bar of it. We're going to chase her down. The battleships have her sighted. We're not going to make it easy. Yes! Takanami is a 40-knot destroyer and she's making these light cruisers look like they're at a standstill. They don't know what to do. It is risky trying to fight a light cruiser. So, let's have a look at the constructions. We have 1 month until our new Euro-class light cruiser comes onto the field. That's going to be fun to see. The Italians have had their teeth pulled out. We've just made ground in Western Sicily. Sardinia is in our sights. We're going to fight those and kill those transports. I wish I could play the submarine missions. With our new light cruisers coming onto the field, I'm going to relegate my older light cruisers to port defense in the Mediterranean. Sardinia has fallen January 1927. Eastern Sicily is the next target. The French have Corsica, unfortunately, but maybe not for long. Let's destroy some... Oh no, let's invade. Let's invade Italy. Finish that off before we start a fight with the frogs. 300,000 long tons required to invade. And you know what? I think we've got it sitting around here somewhere. Now the goal is to try and start a blockade and stop Italian ships from being refitted and repaired. And then really the game is over for the Italians. The army is now staging an assault from Western Sicily into Eastern Sicily, so that should make the invasion there a little bit easier. This one here up in central Italy is going to take a little bit of effort, but we've pinned them into the Adriatic. We have our new light cruiser formations heading from Japan. Going to build some new Maya class battle cruisers. New day, new battle, new fleet fighting this time. We have the battle cruiser Mitaka, a destroyer squadron, and they are followed up by just one of our line battleship formations. The Yamato, the flagship, the lead ship of the Yamato class, 1905. The Mitaka is a single battle cruiser class. There is only one ship in the class before she became obsolete. She's got a very heavy forward armament compared to her contemporary ships that I've built. And she's very fast at 34 knots, but very lightly armored. She's just about to take a torpedo from her sister destroyer from the rear. What are we going to do about this mess I've created? Hard to port! Hard to port! Oh, we took one to the rudder. That was not great. What are you doing, idiots? I swear I told them to hold fire. Apparently not. Now Mitaka is running straight through the formation. Impetuous commander. It's got a stuck rudder. Can't turn away. We have torpedo boats or destroyers within punching distance. Here come the torpedoes. Poorly lane spread. Oh, look at that. Massive damage. That high explosive shell just carving a path through the center of the ship and then exploding. Large caliber shell at that range against no armor. It's always going to be a bad day. Our destroyer line is doing the right thing now. Akigumo is going to have to turn away. She's been blocked. Once those pass, we'll turn and join the formation. Destroyers are pushing forward. Chasing down flash firing destroyer. That was a big hit. Look at the size of the crater just below the turret. Their beds are burning. The Kusunoki can smell blood. Trying to stay in the wake of this enemy destroyer so she can't turn enough to drop a spread of torpedoes at her. The aim is just to gun her down. But we are overtaking. We're much faster. Whoa! Turn away! We just collided. Seems this guy has lost all his motive power. What? Mitaka is sinking? What the heck happened? It is a shameful display. I turned my back for one moment, and we lost the singular ship of the Mitaka class. I really don't know what happened here. It looks like a lot of the light... She got too close to the light cruiser, and it just did massive damage to her. 1.5 inch shell did 6,000 damage. I really don't know what happened. And I was not watching for the best part of 3 or 4 minutes. The Emperor shall not be pleased to lose such a prestigious warship, which was fairly modern, in such a humiliating display. I am Commander Tyrael. This was Battle Cruiser Mitaka, and as her crew sink beneath the waves, we shall take a break from Admirals. Until the next episode, I bid you farewell.